We're gonna finish intake on 2 of the miniatures that came in last week, especially on checking their feet out, X-rays to see what kind of shape they're in before we go ahead and do their full vaccine series, finish intake on them that way.
This is Hallie. Hallie came in as undersurrender last week, I believe. And she's a little fearful, but once you get hands on her, she's pretty sweet.
We're gonna take some X-rays of Miss Callie's feet because her hoofs are very overgrown. So we're gonna try to assess the hoof angles to see how out of alignment the actual bone is in there compared to how the hoof is grown out. So. Even with me moving,
that angle's not bad.
Angle is not bad. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit there, but not bad. Not what I would expect looking at it.
Yeah.
So you can.
And that coffin bone is in good shape too.
Yeah, so not bad, sweetheart.
Cool. Well, let's hope the other 3 are the same way. All right, this is the left.
Yeah, so that's okay. Let's look at the other one because yeah, that one I'm seeing farrier work on that one. It's not that bad either, because there's still grown out hoof, but
oh, that's a little worse than that.
Little, but overall wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be, though.
Yeah. Are you worried about the front still, or no?
She's there, so looking. I want to say, unless we find something bad on that one, is a progressive farrier treatment, trim down, and we'll re-X-ray and make certain things the way they need to be.
Okay.
And we can sedate her, you know, all the way down if we need to. Okay. And that's where, I mean, we can even X-ray during the trim if we have any questions. So, but for right now, only thing where, you know, the sole depth here, but until we trim off there, I'm still willing to give you a chance, darling.
Perfect.
I am. I'm not seeing anything outright.
So she is foundered and at risk of having active laminitis again, right?
You're right, yes. Because she's a miniature, so they need to watch her
should
diet.
I tell the people not to throw a bag of cookies in there?
Yes. How do I want to go zoom. How do I zoom? There's a little, see that little circle there? Let's take one from a front, point toward the back. I want to see what that is right there.
Okay.
Okay, so that's normal on that, so yeah, okay. So a little overgrown. I'm gonna say, and at the angle we're at, we're not seeing the edge here because we're not angled down, so don't be alarmed by the missing part of the front there. So it's our angle of our X-ray. I say farrier trim, darling. And we can work with X-ray during farrier trim if we need to. Yeah, I think with some farrier care and some proper diet to maintain, you may be pretty good, darling. Overall, I will be honest, I was very surprised that her angles were not like her external hoof looks like. So for right now, then from what I'm seeing is some good farrier work, and we can reconfirm with X-rays that the angles look good. And if everything is good after that, then for her potential adopters, it will be just a matter of proper diet, not overfeeding her. She is a little miniature, so they're more likely to founder. And then just keeping up with her hoof care after that. So, which is good news, you know, because I was actually really surprised. I figured her angles would be horrible, and they're really not. So that's always a good surprise to have good news like that. But a lot of times when they grow out like that, owners get overwhelmed. They just don't know what to do with them, you know, and it kind of just gets out of control. So, but we may have her, if we get her, the farrier to come, we may get her straightened out on a good path. You're going to be a true miniature. Easy. Okay, now we'll get your strangles and your wormer and you will be done.
Was that so bad?
She goes, yes, it was horrible. It was so horrible. She goes, the inhumanity of it. I know.
So that just hindering the dental?
Yep.
It's being pushed
So-
outward like that?
So what we're going to do is when we sedate him for farrier, we're going to tag on it and just do dentals on both of them that day.
Alright. It's almost like an alpaca where they store it down there and then they spit it out. Kind of what it smells like.
We are going to finish the intake process on Sammy, which means he's going to get his full vaccines today. And where he is packing feed along his upper molar teeth, we're going to do a dental on him. We're going to schedule that with farrier day. So when we sedate him for the farrier, then I'll just come in behind and finish his dental at the same time. So trying to minimize the amount of times to need to be sedated, the whole 9 yards. So, but other than the feed packing, that's really his only major issue. Just a minor foot correction, not as bad as Callie's was. So we'll just do both of them the same day. And again, just minimize the number of times we need it for sedation. So we'll go ahead and finish vaccines and we'll check with Miss Kimberly for when farrier's coming next week and get that taken care of. We finished intaking on Hallie and Sammy. They were 2 miniatures. Hallie had some really overgrown feet that had us worried, so we took some X-rays for hoof angles, and I was actually really impressed of how nice her angles were compared to how overgrown her hoofs were. So we're going to schedule her and Sammy both for the farrier, and we can follow up with X-rays after they're trimmed to make certain the angles still look fine on that. And both of them, we're going to do dentals on both, and we're going to do that after farrier, because if we sedate for farrier, then I'll just follow up and do the dental as a backup after that, so we don't have to sedate them more than necessary on that. So we'll take advantage of our sedation. Farrier goes first, and then I will follow up with dental while they're sedated that way. So, but overall, some pretty positive news this morning, which is always a good day to have.